Greetings, welcome to channel 6. Hike day again. I think this is day 7 or day 8. I've kind of lost track. I know it's been a few. I haven't streamed all of them. I filmed one because I didn't get streaming. And now I'm actually going to go over to Twitch and see if it says I'm live. I'm not going to load up the video. I'm just going to go in and see if it has the red bubble, and it does. The 0 viewer thing, you know? I know that's not right, but that's okay. I left the house about 10:42 today, and some people might say to me, well, why don't you leave earlier? Well, stop asking me to stop in the middle and do different things, because it's inevitable. You go to do something, somebody's like, oh wait, can you do this for me first? Yeah, okay. And I'm a nice guy, I'll do it. Especially for family. You got to take care of your family. You got to stick with your family. We're all family in a way, kind of. But it's already pretty warm out here. I'm considering, just when I get to the big tree, having some cold water already. And I decided not to shortcut across the field, simply because I could look out and see the heat haze rising up already. And it was 77 on the porch, so it's probably about 80. July berry picks be like this. And 2 days ago wasn't the most prosperous mid-season berry pick. It would have been fine for the first couple of days, but this season's a little bit different. Last season was too. I had a few seasons where the first day picking might be a handful of berries, and then I might get 3/4 of a container, and then I might get a container and a half, and then I go out and get 2 or 3 containers, and then it would ramp up slow. And then after maybe 4 or 5 days picking, which is like 10 days because I pick every other day, after 4 or 5 days picking, I'd be getting 6 to 8 containers, and I'd do that 3 pickings, 4 pickings. By the time I got to the end of the peak, I'd already picked 40, close to 50 containers. But this year looks like it's going quick. Now, one thing I noticed when I was rooting around in the freezer for the cold pack, I have a lot of frozen berries left from last year, and once they're frozen, they're pretty much the same. It's really the fresh berries that are the bonus item. Here's our spot, the little break area where I have the big tree. I have a place to hold my stick, I think. And I already picked some berries on the way here, and I didn't eat them. Usually the first handful I pick, I eat. And I saved these just on the cautionary note. Is that my bot announcing? Hey bot. Just on the cautionary note that I don't know how many berries I'm going to get. Usually I don't get through the entire water bottle. I have a 24, 32 ounce water bottle. I think it's a 32. It's a pretty sizable water bottle. And I drink my tea. I got my tea in there. I got watermelon chunks, and I think I've got my date chunks. Usually I don't get through the whole water bottle. I've got the lid today. I didn't lose it on the way. Usually I don't get through the whole water bottle, but I have a feeling yesterday on my run I drank all my water that I took with me. And I think today I'm probably going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to drink all the liquids. That's no issue. It's no worry. It's just how it is. I'm used to it at this point. I like it when the heat builds up slow, and in May, we had summertime heat just bang out of spring, early spring. Early spring tops out mid-50s, and suddenly we were in 80, 90 degree weather. And it did that a couple years ago in the fall. We had 80 to 90 degree weather into the end of September, which usually it slopes off down through the 70s. And beginning of October, I remember it was October 10th was like 80 degrees I went running. October 11th was 70 degrees, and October 12th was like 50. And it's just like bang, suddenly it's a different temperature. A few degrees, yeah, I don't even notice, but that big drop, it's like, whoa, this actually feels like I put on heavier running clothes. I put on my early winter running gear to go out because it felt so chilly. And if it slopes off slowly, I won't put on that gear until, you know, a month later. It's the end of October before I get to the winter running gear. Because those cool runs where I'm still in shorts and a t-shirt and it's sloping off down through the 60s, the upper 60s, that's really nice run weather. I get that 2 times a year in the spring and in the fall. I figure I got about 3 months of really beautiful running and hiking weather. And I got the winter months and the summer months. There might be 4 months there, depending. But we're not in control of the weather, like a lot of things in the world. We're not in control of that, and it kind of does what it wants, and we have to live with it. See, I think that's what we got to get going. You can't philosophize right here. I think that's one of the things. I don't know who watches these videos, because I know I don't have a heck ton of viewers yet, which is okay. Maybe next year there'll be some people watching the berry picking hikes. I'm just looking here to see if there are berries to pick on this little... Yeah, I'm down to picking the berries on the little side patches now, just in case. And I'm probably going to go past a couple patches. One thing, now see that vine has everything picked off on it. One thing that I don't even have the picking container out yet. In fact, I don't have proper access to it for some reason. It's got its dump hole in the wrong area. Rotate that. There we go. In fact, I'm just looking for 1 or 2 berries on that vine, on that berry. They call them canes. I guess maybe they grow like a sugar cane. Oh, and a stick just undid you. You're looking at things that I don't even know what you're looking at. A stick pulled the camera loose. Okay, you're wired back up. Probably earlier today I'm going to have to get the cold pack out, and the cold pack caused me an issue last time where I flipped the camera so I can put it on the back, the phone, because I don't want it on the touch surface. And the touch surface got hit either by my hand or a leaf and muted the camera. And usually I leave this in chat mode, so those controls, there's 3 different sections. There's the mic and the camera mute, and they look good. I'll test with the mic. Yeah, mic's unmuted, camera's out. That's one advantage of checking the Twitch, as I can tell. Camera's live. Oh, yeah, I just realized, put it back on the chat section. Then there's another section. I'm not sure what that is. Premium something. Something you have to pay for. But I leave it on the chat controls. Therefore, that way I can't hit the camera or the mic mute while I'm just bumping around. But I've decided to go along here and go through a couple of these patches. I might pop out into the field for a short way because there's not much on the way over there. I go up that way or I go through the shortcut. I'll go up this way. It doesn't matter that much. But one thing I was supposed to think about while I was standing at the tree, and I did a little bit, was which patch we're heading to. If I'm going to go into the big patch, or if I'm going to go out to some of the smaller patches. Because if more deer got into my big patch, there might not be much there. Of course, I could always stop on the way. And given the heat of the day, and the fact that oh wow, there's a lot of clobber here already. It's not a good idea to let some of this clobber go on your tight trails. because you turn around, and this is a trail I go on a good bit. You turn around and you don't have a trail to walk on. Then you have to spend, instead of 5 minutes clearing clobber, you're up to 20 minutes or a half hour digging off stuff that you can't get through. And anyways, I've got to, I think if I'm going to do it, the way to do it, and there's a little picking area. Yeah, I'm stopping by all the picking areas now and looking and seeing what there is. The way to do it is to go to the main patch, because that's the heat and it's not that hot yet. Because the one patch has got a good bit of shade, and so does the other one. Especially closer towards noon, afternoon, they'll have more shade. Even the little picking areas, I'm honestly not seeing a lot of berries. I'm seeing a lot missing, so this is the thing. I'm one human. I can only go to so many things. And the birds, there's a lot of burbs. There's a lot of deer out here. I think there might be more deer these years. I don't know how much hunting people have been doing around here. A lot of times they go up into the mountains to hunt, which makes sense because there's less people in wilder areas and the deer are less skittish. If they can find a good hide. The deer are going to be completely skittish. But if they can find a good hidey hole and be quiet, they'll see a lot of deer go through. Where here, the deer move at night. They don't move through a lot of, say, public areas, human access areas, when, you know, it's not nighttime. Like where they come through my yard, they mostly do that at night. And I realize as I pick these, I'm not picking a lot of berries out in these areas. And I've also been keeping an eye on the blackberries, and I haven't seen a good blackberry picking area yet. There's blackberries all over the place, but we had rain early June, late June. We didn't have much rain. Pollen already. We've had about 2 weeks of dry. Well, I put the top down on the Jeep sometime at the beginning of June, and it's still down every day when I go running. Every other day I go running. I've had top down. I had one day it was sprinkling when I got home, and I could just put the Jeep in the garage. And it's like I zipped it home and got in there, and I guess if I'm going to pick this patch, see, I can tell deer have been in here. I might as well get the container out. There's a few berries here to pick. And I could maybe pick them on the way back, but I have a feeling on the way back I'm going to cut through the field. And you can see this smash down. I really don't think humans did this. I think there would be more crunk. I'd like to think that a human would be smart enough to pick the patch without stepping it down like this. And maybe they are. Maybe not, I'm not going to presume that, but I really think this is characteristic of a deer jumping in, because there's hardly a path in here to this. And I certainly wouldn't. I would pick the berries and leave them to be picked next time. I wouldn't push it down like this, but I've seen this a good bit. Now, really, more than 2 years, 3, 4 years ago, I wasn't seeing a lot of this, but the patches also weren't as big and prosperous as they've become under, sort of with my intent and care, my focus on them to keep out all the heavy stuff. This isn't heavy stuff right here. That stuff, we'll look at the wall of stuff, that's the heavy stuff. And I've kind of been nominally keeping that out of the patch, doing my part. Kind of counting on God to help out a little bit. And the patches have done, oh, well, that's done. This just fell off in my hand, but you can see where it's been bunked. This right here at this end, and you can take a look at it. You're not picking any of these berries anyways. I hopefully am getting the camera right. You're not going to pick any berries. I'm going to pick that one berry. And that's it. The rest of it's just dying already. Hopefully, I'm just going to toss it over and it's got roots in the ground. Because they grow in a loop. They grow in an arch and they put roots in the ground and make more patch. And that's what's been happening. The patches have just been building up and building up as I help take care of them and clean out the heavy stuff. And they've gotten really big. And it makes for some amazing picking. It makes for some really amazing picking. Over here on my left, probably your right, as we go through, there's a wall. That wall used to be up in this patch, but a couple winters back it fell down. 2 winters ago, this over here, that's a wall of blackberries and wild grapevines, and it's a wall. There's no way through that. I'd have to come in with a piece of machinery or a machete and cut a hole in it. So if that's growing where the raspberry patch is, you're not going to get a lot of raspberries. And yeah, I saw my stick fall over. See, at this point, where these fall down, this area there's not too much, so I can kind of lift them up and look for berries. But in the heavy areas, there's not much I can do. You can't pull the stuff up there all stuck together. And I really don't want to smash the new plants that have already been smashed. They got to grow up, some of them, because with the deer coming in like this, a lot of the new growth is going to get smushed down anyways. And I just have to accept that and accept that some of these are going to grow big enough that aren't like right in the middle of it. And I'll be able to pick off of those next year. I always get a good showing each year. And I could be picking another 5 or 6 times. It's hard to say. I usually get about 10 to 12 good pickings, decent pickings in a season. And like I said, I'm on, 7 or 8? And I don't know if I'm going to stream every one of them, because I was thinking today, I'm trying to leave the house at 10:30 and I left at 10:40. Well, setting up the filming rig, I got everything streamlined. And I had to go back, spend 2 minutes getting the cold pack, because when I got the water bottle, I didn't want to get it out of the freezer yet. I wanted it to be maximum cold when I used it, and I had to go back and get it. So there's 2 minutes. Setting up the rig is 5 or 6 minutes. Making sure I grab everything, put it in the bucket. And a little bit of organization goes on there. I don't just jam it in there, because when I want to get, like if I want to get out the water bottle, I don't want to have to pull 4 or 5 things out every time. So there's that. I'm partially picking this area because I like to pick it. I discovered this in 2017. And 2018, 2019, it was one of my favorite pick areas. So, and it actually had a lot more berries in it. There's some up on the upper side to pick as well. I picked them when I was coming back a couple times back. I don't think last time I was on top of the hill. But the time before that, 4 days ago, I picked it. And I just like to pick this area. And I don't know what I'm going to find in my main patch. I don't have a lot of berries yet. About to fall over, and stumble boy knocked some. Well, that one don't matter. Yeah, between me and the deer, some parts of these patches are not being treated super kindly. There's a few in here. And there are areas that, like up on top of the hill, there's a lot of unripe berries yet, but they're not the big, nice, juicy berries. These are medium-sized berries right here. This is, and for some reason when I upload these to YouTube, they like to pick this screenshot. These are medium-sized berries. They're not the big, juicy ones, and I may have all the big, juicy ones I'm going to get. I got to see a couple of these other patches still. But they all taste good. And Mom can make a pie out of the smaller ones as easily as the bigger ones. In fact, I think when she bakes them, they shrink up a little bit. Because you don't ever see the big juicy berries in a pie. Or it may be that the big ones always get frozen and it's the little ones that go into the pies. And now I'm thinking about how good that first fresh raspberry pie tastes too. That's a taste right there. If you've never had, you can go to the grocery store and buy one and they're all right. But pick the fresh berries and have that first. You still got some of that fresh berry taste in the pie. And that's a pretty amazing taste. So today's goal is really pie picking berries. And then I think in the afternoon stream, since I did the freezer, putting them in the freezer, I might do the freezer accounting. In today's afternoon stream, actually go into the freezer and count how many frozen berries I have, which means getting a lot of stuff out of the freezer. Mom constantly rearranges. Well, I say constantly. A few times a year she rearranges it. And except for this one little corner I have, I'm not sure where stuff is at. And then she asks me why I don't ever put stuff back in the same place. It's like, well, because I don't know. I don't know where, even on my own stuff though, you got to know, even on my own stuff, where I always keep something in the same place, I won't put it back there. And then I'll flummox myself and be like, what happened to my one tool? Well, I don't know. And then I'll find it later. Used to be, I'd be looking for something. I'd look for a couple of weeks, couldn't find it, I'd give up, go on. I'd be getting something else. I'd be like looking for a different book or a different thing, and I'd find the thing I was looking for. It would be somewhere where I just didn't think to look. And you look for something, you always find it in the last place you look. Or are you one of those people that keeps looking for a thing after you found it? Yeah, my puns aren't that great. My jokes are not my main thing. I'm here for berry picking and intelligent, semi-intelligent conversation, somewhat intelligent conversation, a little bit of philosophy. I had a good philosophy idea this morning, and in the heat, I'm already not sure. I'm an expert berry picker. I'm not a joke teller. I say expert, I'm more of a dedicated amateur. And yeah, between me and the deer, patches be getting bunked. And I'm looking now and I don't see, and for some reason we're looking at it sideways because it lost the orientation, and I don't know what it does with the camera, but I know it's not a good deal to flip it over. And when that happens, when it loses that, it loses the live button. I just realized I need my glasses to see this. But everything's well organized. I even debated bringing six empty containers today, because this thing here holds at least 4 or 5. And I don't know, so I'm not mute video and I'm not mute mic. I'm checking what they look like, and I'm going back, and I lost a chat. So if you said anything in chat, it's cleared out now. Twitch does the same thing though, so I can't say Stream Elements is any better on the chat than Twitch, because Twitch does the exact same thing. My goal at this point is just not to lose track of my stick. There's a few more, and I can already tell my glasses are fogging up. In the last couple of years, there's been a really good vine right where I'm at. And all I see this year is this little part here. There's a couple. The good vines moved up. Somehow, my berry holders moved over to the other peg. Around quote 30, 29, or 30. Move your clothes down to the lower peg. But right in here, there's really good picking. Yeah, I'm taking the glasses off. If you put something in chat, you're going to have to wait for me to actually read it, because they're getting steamed up, and I don't need them to pick. At this point, I can pick just by touch. I know where the berries, I kind of have a feel. Yeah, I don't know if it's up in there, or maybe it's just moved. They move around. But right in here, there would be a really nice berry clutch, a cane with just a ton on it. And this year it looks like it didn't do so well. But it's over here. So we'll go pick over here. Then I think it's straight on to the main patch. Now there is a picking area over here I haven't been through. And I suppose I should check that out. But I'm going to pick these right here, this little bit. These have been a good vine. And is this the second or third time I've picked these? And I can tell this is already getting picked out. So between me and the animals, we're womping this season. And it might just be that the animals are more active. Because it has been, we've had warmer weather earlier, as opposed to past seasons where it didn't really warm until the end of June. And the mid-June was very pleasant berry picking, and it was still chill at the end of May. And everything might have just woke up earlier this year. That could be the case. All the animals got an early start, so they're a lot more active. When I first moved back to take care of Mom years back, I was used to running in Florida, and we had really unseasonable warm weather going into December. I mean, Christmas Day, I was running in like 70-degree weather, and then it got cold. And when the unseasonable weather, when it's out of the regular season happens, it affects things. In tiny little ways, or maybe big ways, maybe bigger ways. But it does affect things. And I think the early warm-up, especially that summer weather we had at mid-May. We had a freeze the second week, and then at the end of May, we had that uber warm weather. Even here they've stomped these things down. Dear friends, my little deer animals, I'm not going to take up hunting to call your numbers, but stop stomping down my berry patch. Stop stomping down the berry patches we share together, because there's good berries to pick, and they're hard to find once you tromp. A note to my fellow animal deer beings. Alright, let's up the hill's easy. Down the hill's a little bit more challenging because I got that arch and I don't have an easy way around that I see. But there's a berry patch. Where's my hand at? Right through there. On the other side of that's a sizable berry patch. It's not a big one, but the last couple of seasons there's been a lot there to pick. But up there is the hot patch. You know, I think that's a possible on the way back, because I want to get into the main patch before it heats up anymore. I'm just thinking about that. And I know that my whole jig, the bottle and everything, I've watched the videos. I know it makes a lot of noise. And here's a little patch over here I picked. Here's a little patch over here that I went into. This is new. This moved up the hill from that little bit I was just down the hill picking. This is a new one up here. Now I know if you're not an experienced berry picker, you just see me out picking berries, but there's a difference between the high yield areas and these areas where you're just reaching out and picking a couple berries. In the high yield areas, I'm reaching out and picking 5 at a time. And the bucket fills up fast. In these areas, I'm reaching out and picking 1 and 2 at a time. And I always debate with myself when I come into the big patch doing this, and I get into the big patch and I pick 5 or 6 containers. Like, if I just went to the big patch, I might have been able to pick 8. At this point, though, I think I'm okay. I think I'm doing pretty good on the picking, so that's why I'm kind of easing in. And I'm debating going around to that other. There's another side to this. I can't easily reach across all of it. Getting stuck on tree limbs and stuff. And I'm doing this mostly because I don't know what, I dropped one. I don't know what the big patch is going to be like. And I don't see anything in chat. So I think while we got the shade, before I head into the heat of the big patch, I'm going to stop and eat a little bit of my snack because it's hot. I know I want to get out there before the heat really ramps up, but it's already warm. And I'm going to check Twitch and make sure I'm still broadcasting because of the screwy way Stream Elements acts. I'm going to do a little broadcast check. Since nobody's in chat, and my bots are trained now, if you're not posting messages, they'll post a message every 5 to 7 minutes or so. They got their rhythmic messages, their repeat messages, Discord and all that advised. But they won't do it if nobody's chatting. I finally trained them not to. And you know, I was thinking about creating one for a berry pick that just goes off whether or not everybody's chatting every couple minutes to say I might be away from camera, away from text, away from the chat, and away from the mic. I might be out AFK lurking on my own stream picking berries, and I hadn't set that yet. So maybe for next year I might do it here. It comes to mind. Do it for next year so if somebody comes by and they see berry picking and say, hey, this dude might not even be on camera. I've got the Bluetooth mic, which I've got the nicer one now. I found out, I think what happened was I left it on the last time I tried to use it, and then I went to get it 2 days ago and it wasn't charged up, so I got the crappy one. I got the old cell phone one. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't really like the way the Bluetooth mic sounds versus the built-in mic, period. But this is a good place because right on the other side of that's out into the heat, out into the patch. So, well, I got about a quarter of a container in there. This is a good place to take stock. I don't know if I'm going to take the camera off. That's a whole ordeal. Taking the camera off and doing all that. But I got my water, I got my tea. I got my watermelon chunks. I should have. Yeah, I got my chopped dates here. I'm looking for a level spot to sit. And tunk the camera up a little bit so you get a good nature cam. Point you. Can I point you down this trail? When I sit down and when I walk up hills, the camera tends to point at the ground, and I kind of got to point it that way anyways. I might get it out of the rig. I've discovered one thing that's not good to do is unplug it from the battery pack because it starts draining quick. And if it heats up, it won't charge. When it heats up, it turns off the battery charger, so. And it already feels pretty warm. I think I'm going to have to put the cold pack on it to go out. I've got a count of 33 minutes. 33, 39. Yeah, it was at full charge and it's already down 77%. And usually it keeps it up pretty good, but let's go check Twitch. Twitch say I'm live. Twitch will rotate the chat if you start with Twitch, but if you don't start with Twitch, it won't rotate the chat. I don't get that. Why can't it just rotate the chat when you rotate the camera? Hey! Number 20. In the brightest day and the blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern. I like Green Lantern. He's one of my favorite heroes. Back in the 70s and 80s. Checking. In the 70s and 80s. Checking. Good. I am live, according to Twitch. Good deal. Okay. Back in the rig for you. Oh, I'm almost losing my Bluetooth. It's completely fallen out of its container area. Knee cam. Okay, put that back on. I wonder if I could... I need that part. I wonder if I could wrap it around this thing and have it stick around. Okay, we're going to eat a little bit here. That's all I really wanted, was to see if I was live. Let's see if I got the quote in chat. Yep. Okay. I'll eat a little bit of this watermelon, cool up a little bit. See, one thing I know, the other day when I picked the cooler stuff first, I told my neighbor, I'm going to heat up anyways. Once I go out here in the heat, there's no cooling down. Even in the cooler areas, I'm still going to be overheated. And I'm thinking about that right now. But this is the order. We're going to go and check this big patch. And if it looks like the top of the hill, I'm going to a different patch. Although, if I can't get 3 or 4 containers over here, I don't think I'm going to get 3 or 4 containers in these other patches. The one I could go to was, it was a 2 container patch a couple of years ago, but it slid a little bit. Maybe 3 containers at the peak. That's a path right there, that little bright spot. I'm just looking down at the camera, it's like I can see the path. Really, I figure any day berry picking, no matter how many berries I pick, is a bonus compared to the days. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of really good days these days. Yesterday's run was amazing. I had started out with these really like tall crows, like foot high crows. They were big crows for the area. They weren't the usual crows that are around here. They were the large size. I suppose they could have been some other species of crow, like a rook or a raven or something. They were big. Yeah, they might have been ravens. And I enjoyed that. I haven't uploaded the video to YouTube yet. I gotta watch it again. I know that if I had somebody around all the time clipping my videos, I got all kind of cool stuff buried in them. I just don't have time to go through them. Well, I'm making a 3-4 hour video filming, like if I do the vintage video game, I film that specifically to put it on YouTube so I don't have to scrub it out there. If I do it right. And if I don't, I have to go through a shortcut and cut it out. But there's all kind of kitty cams and little bits. I did a bee cam one day when I was outside, and if it's not in the title, when I saved it, I didn't put it in there. I don't know which one it is. But when I'm filming anywhere from 6 to 10, maybe 12 hours a day, I know last night I had a 5-hour quake edit. There's no way I can go through all this stuff. I got to remember one specific little bit and I can go look for it, and that's it. Well, crunch a couple more pieces of watermelon. I'm going to save a couple pieces in case I get pollen. I don't think I'm going to get pollen bad at this point, because that's already passed. That grass is done with its heavy pollen phase. I think that's mostly a mid-June kind of thing, because that's when it seems to happen. But the watermelon's kind of nice to just scrape it out of your throat. I can swallow a piece about this size and maybe crunch it in half. And it's a good throat clear. The flies are out in force today. I think they smell either my sweat or this watermelon. And they're all like, hey, you got something good? So, a little bit of my tea, which is still really warm. Let's see if it cooled down enough. Oh, yeah, that's good. Somebody's there. Let me see. At least I see a little splutch of red. I think I put my glasses on the picking bottle. Yes. Hello, cats. Welcome to playing D&D. Well, you can lurk. I'm picking berries. Nominally. I gotta see how many berries I'm actually gonna get. Yeah, maybe after berry picking ends and I get tired of Quake Map, I think I might put a campaign together. I've got a couple of open campaigns, from one from 2010 and one from 2014 that kind of need conclusions, or at least progress. But I'm not sure I can get the people together. They're both schedulally challenged groups. Usually I have one person that's just has a tight schedule, and I make my schedule around them. And then I have a couple other people that one can play anytime like me, and then another one that will occasionally show up. I only like about 3 or 4, really 3. 4 players gets to be difficult to keep everybody engaged, unless they engage themselves. But I think 3 is my ideal. 3 people that actually engage in the role play, I think is pretty nice. Once you get up to the big groups, there's always somebody sitting around waiting for their turn. And I know the few times I played as a player, I don't like the sitting around waiting so much. Because you get bored, and then you start doodling, and then you start playing with dice, and then you're a distraction. And then you disengage. See, this right here is a pretty decent section of patch, and I see the new stuff coming up. And I got to figure out how I'm going into this. I was in here 4 days ago, picked this area. And I've had a chance to watch some of the video, and it's a lot of me making noise brushing through this stuff and bouncing the bottle against the frame that holds the camera. Well, this is out in the heat part of the picking, and I think at this point I actually have to try to get the cold pack onto the phone, because I think it's going to overheat. I see the screen getting dim, and it's not just me being out in the sunlight. And this is the tricky part, because last time I flipped the phone around and it cut my camera off. And I'm wondering if I can just do a side, not get in the camera. And one thing about this phone is it's got buttons, and I'm already hitting buttons somehow. That it's got a screen button that's a permanent area. And it already lost my stream elements. Come on. Stream elements is still up. It's complaining about something. And this is the... And I just walked out into the hot area too. And the phone's like, oh hey, I'm not going to charge, or whatever it said, but it looks like I'm still live. And since I bunked those buttons, Stream Elements cleared the chat. Okay. Not video muted, not audio muted, considering it good. Going back to the chat. I'm putting on the rig where the Bixby button on the phone is. I don't know what Bixby is, and it's an annoying thing. But I'm going to strap this cold pack. I'm trying to do it this way where the phone's oriented the right way in the rig and the cold pack's on it. I don't know how well that's going to work because, one, it's going to lopside it. It's going to catch on stuff. And this thing's already telling me it's not charging, which is just silly. So, the usual note, and this is what my bots need to tell people when I do the bot thing, this could die suddenly and I won't know. Oh, this is actually the hang it in the tree spot, I just realized. This is actually the hang it in the tree spot. So I could turn the camera around. Let me flippy camera. I'll put it back on chat. I'll make sure I didn't mute. Yeah, it's all ready, and I'm gonna flip the camera and do the hang in the tree trick. If I can find the strap, which I actually what? Oh, okay. It's underneath the honey. Yeah, this is the hot part where the cold pack goes on the back of the phone and the phone gets hung in a tree. And you get to watch me from afar through leaves and stuff. And I get out the Bluetooth, which I think I actually deactivated. Did I deactivate the Bluetooth? No. Bluetooth is on. Oh. I didn't hang in the tree correctly. This isn't a big tree. This is an up-and-coming little weedy bush thing. And I've discovered with the cold pack, it does weird stuff with the camera, too. It points it up at the sky. So the rest of this here picked until I'm moving on to the next patch. And what I thought I could do is actually tag the cold pack to the thing, but I don't know if I have any clips. What would be nice would be a binder clip. I don't have anything to tag it on there with, I don't think. Let me see, a paper clip. Can I MacGyver this real quick? Because I'm burning up important berry picking time for a camera that might fail. Just so I can stream, and I think if it's this hot on the next few streams, or the next few berry picks, streaming may not be a priority. There we go. Of course, now I've got to get it hooked the right way. It's not gigged around to where it's pointing at me. And there. 74%. Oh, it's actually charging now. It cooled off enough from the cooler pack already. The last part. See, hiker, if you're going to do this, this stuff takes extra time. It says I'm live. It says I'm live and I can't find the thing. Now I tested this and it worked. This thing may not like the heat either. So my Bluetooth's not working. Well, if you're watching, you show up. You're not gonna hear me talk much because my Bluetooth rig won't work. The mic's not coming up. I don't know what happened to it. It did the same thing 4 days ago when I brought it. It didn't want to turn on. So I'm actually going to take the time to turn the Bluetooth off so it's not sucking up power. And you're going to hang here in the tree where it's cool enough. The cooler's letting it charge, so we'll consider that good. And I'm going to go pick these berries now. I gotta pass in right here. I'll mumble occasionally. You might hear a little bit. In here, it's kind of hard to even see a lot of the berries. I'm looking around now. It's like, where did I pick them before? They're down here. Just go in here and see what I get. You step on things. It's a grapevine. It's pulling down the good berry ones. It's getting to the point where it's kind of hard to get into the patches just from all the big canes, the new canes that are growing. I got berries here to pick, so we might be good in this patch. I'm reaching out and picking buku berries, so that's good. I don't know if you can see me where it's hanging, and I don't have time to program my bots or access to them to have them tell you every 2 minutes, hey, he's away from mic and away from keyboard and away from camera. But it does say berry pick in the title. Ah, well, ramble to myself. I know the mic has pretty good range. I'm competing with nature too. Now I'm getting ones where the stem, they're not coming off the pod, the stem is actually breaking in my hands. I'm having to de-stem them as I go as well. I'm also going to pick nearly ripe berries at this point. Usually in the middle of the season, beginning of the season, I'll pick a little bit of nearly ripe berries, but I try to leave them. But at this point, I don't know how many more pickings I'm going to get, so I might pick a few nearly ripe berries. This patch is kind of nice, and it doesn't have a lot of deer stepped out yet. Not this area anyway. Where the deer don't step it down, where they don't trip it down, stomp it down and sleep on it, it's easier to pick. And that's what I'm doing right now, doing picky berry. Hiker made me a song, picky berry. Because I'm a little large for a hobbit. But I still picky berry. I'm a very tall, not so rotund hobbit. Hobbit style creature anyway. I like some of the hobbit things. Simple life with good eating. You get to read. Well, if you're one of the well-off hobbits like Bilbo or Frodo, who went on adventures. I think adventures are good. I like the adventures life. I like to explore, I like to discover new things. Some people might think there's not a lot left to explore in the world, but you go local, you go to some little place like this, maybe 20 acres of woods, but it changes every year. These berry picking areas change, and there is stuff to explore. There are explorables here. You come out and find them. Oh, I just discovered the thing that keeps the cat from clawing up my shoulder. The heavier pieces of my shirt are good against the thorns, too. That's kind of nice. That's a nice discovery. See, there's things to discover. And I'm discovering I'm getting a lot of stems that I'll have to do removed. Well, if Mom's going to make pie with these, I'll get the stem removed. And also, they fall off the vine at this point. quite easily. Either they bring the whole stem with them or they fall off on them. It's nice when you got a little tree to lean on. You can actually grab and hold it, lean over the pick things that are nearby. I hear a hawk off in the distance. Okay. Oh, I might have spoke too soon about the paw. Something's pawing me up. I might actually have to come over there and get some water, or some tea or honey, anything that helps swallowing. It might be this tree. I bunked it a little bit. No, this is an elderberry tree. It's not the tree. Something in here has got me pollen. So when you say a thing is or isn't going to happen, make sure you don't speak out of turn. You don't know what's going to happen in a given moment. And I got to get past you guys. I'm trying to be really careful going through these big canes because they're really nice. So I'm debating, come back and get tea, and honey, or keep picking. Because I'm having a good pick here. Having a good pick. Blackberries are almost ripe too. I don't know what we're getting for audio. Yeah, where the deer smash it down really heavy, that becomes a harder pick area. You just look at it and it's like, what do I do? I see some ripe berries, and I know I'm probably not going to get half of them because you can't get to them. I'll pick the ones I can. I guess that's what I do. You pick what's available. And I left my glasses on that I don't need for picking. Reading the chat, not picking. Yeah, I'm way over here. You probably can't even hear me. I hear you, little creature. What are you? Squirrel? You're not a deer. Sheep. Birdie. Hey, burb. It's a burb. Not burbish, but a burb. Cheeping at me. I must have woke it up or something. Disturbed its rest. Maybe it's chilling in the bush. Canes are starting to fall down here. You can kind of tell when you're picking what's going to be the nice picking edge. You can't be sure, but you can have an idea. The bigger canes are going to have the best edge. They always do. Tiny little pieces don't do much of anything. So I try to protect the big canes and not let them get bunked up. They only grow one season, then they die. So if they're not growing and becoming a nice sized thing, you're not going to get much out of it. Small ones. Although a good bit of growing can happen in August and September. Even into October they can still grow. So you can't say for certain. Just like I said, if you can hear me over here, you can't say for certain what thing is going to be. Oh, I got some nice berries I can't get to. I'm pushing into the deer smush right now to pick big berries. It's not uber like pick, pick, pick. I'm not reaching out and getting 5 and 10. But I'm reaching out and getting 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm reaching out and getting a few, so that's good. The container's slowly filling up. It's not like I'm picking, and boy, I might have a container already. The little containers, the storage containers. Yeah, where the deer smashed this down, I'm trying to lift it up and I can hardly see into it. And they may not have actually taken out a piece of the patch that has a lot of pickable berries. Or they ate them all. You just look at it and you can't see through it, and it's all down on the ground. And you can't get underneath it either. I like going underneath to look up and see what I'm missing. You don't see through the leaves. And it doesn't matter, these vines are going to die anyway. These vines are going to die out anyway. So it's not like they're going to be around for years to come to produce. They produce one season and it's over. That's that. That's the thing about picking berries. You just keep picking berries. I think one of the things that's going to get me today is probably going to be this heat. Because it's already slowing me down. I picked this little corner of the world. Looking for all the berries that are left that the deer didn't eat or smash. Hoping to get 5 containers so I can have a container to eat and Mom can make pies. Because I got her 3 last time and she said that's not enough. So I ate a container and froze 2 of them. It's not enough to make more than a couple pies, is the problem. She doesn't want to heat the oven up just to make 1.5 pies. If she can make a small pie, she can make a small pie. And I'm making a circuit here. I've got to wade through somewhere. Going round the robin. Why they pick the robin to go around, I don't know. But I know that's the expression. I know a lot of expressions. Some of them I don't use. Especially the nautical ones. There's a Navy guy and a literal sailor. Literal sailboat guy. I like to know some of the nautical expressions. Then working on a stage, there's a lot of nautical terms. A lot of nautical terms on stage. I know why that is, because 2,000 years ago they used unemployed Roman sailors to do their rigging and their scenery. And they used nautical terms because they were sailors. I didn't think about that sometimes. What are the chances that would be the case? Pretty good. Pretty good chance. Well, the nice thing is with the deer smashing midway through the season, this patch is going quick. So I got to look at the other part, see how good it is. Steps in here somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot of blackberries. Oh, a lot of nice blackberries. Very good at that funky looking effect. I guess pick what I can find, pick everything I can today, and hope there's enough for pies. That's the order of the day. Get the pie berries. And the next few times, I don't think there's going to be a lot to freeze. come out, spend however long, picking 2 containers to eat, and that's it. Unless I get Uber. And the deer came in here again. Wow, they knocked down some rose bush. That's kind of nice. I'd get rid of that. But it also means I have to pick through it. Yeah, they damaged some things. I got berries to pick. A little bit more challenging. Fortunate, I already cut off some of this rose bush, so I can just pull it out of here. Yeah, I'm sure it's deer because humans wouldn't need to lay down on top of it for any reason. That's probably a clear indicator that humans and pigs, they might step it down, but they wouldn't make a bed out of it. And every part of every patch isn't going to survive until next year anyways. I got a patch I could show you that I fixed for 3 years. It's almost completely gone. The nice thing is the deer have shown me where big parts of the rose bush are that I can cut back to the root. That's kind of nice. Things that I couldn't get to on my own. I come in and do my little steppy down part. They come in and do theirs. That's how it happens. Lots of days. I don't know if you can hear any of this. I'm no Bluetooth. It didn't Bluetooth for me. I'm downhill somewhere. Picking berries. This is where I really need a mod or a box or anything else. There's a good many of these that are picked out. I'm debating going into where the deer smashed it down. I don't know if there's any good going into that. There are some berries in here. They're hard to get. Yeah, this smash down slows down the berry picking if you go for the berries in the smashed areas. There are berries in here. There are nice berries in here too. This is a good patch to pick most of the time. That I picked it. They went up into there. I can't get into that way. I'm gonna look around down here. I'm coming back up to the camera. There's some pick down there, a little bit. The patch is always like a spread downhill. Looking around. There's actually some decent blackberries down there on the right now. This might be one of the places to come down into and pick blackberries, I think. I guess I could leave my glasses with the phone. That's all I need it for. As I come back up the hill to fetch nothing, to deposit berries. I'm looking to see if I can get into this one area that's flat. See if there's anything to pick. Yeah, a couple. It's worth coming in here. Sometimes just figuring out how to get through is a trick. You don't want to clobber the new berries. You want to cut out the undesirables, the weeds that take away from your berry patch, and you want to pick berries. Now here's an area where there could be berries hiding behind leaves, and there are, but they're not ripe yet. You want to look around when you're picking. See, I got a whole deer smashy area that I'm not sure if I can get into. Yeeted that over there. That would have been neat. Nice thing about not having the phone on is I can do whatever I need to do. Where's my phone? I'm going up the trail here. I don't see my phone. I'm not on the right trail. Okay. Well, I picked everything I could. Doop. Looks like you're staying cool. It says we're still alive. We're an hour and 12 out. I've got probably a container and a half, maybe. It's pretty much time to switch areas. I think I left the chat on. Looks like I'm live. Let me see. Video and audio aren't muted. So we'll go with that. I'm going to see, I'm using the cable. Let's see what the phone's up to. 79%. It's actually charging up. That's good. That means it's not overheated. It's not overheated and it's not overheated. You didn't come here for humor, I know. Okay, let us see if I can actually pull the, yep, got the power pack. I'm just going to attempt to carry the phone over to the next area. I don't know how well I can put it into the rig, and I don't want to take the chance of muting something like the video, which is, just seems like, I suppose muting the video seemed like a nice thought, but when they do it, they should have more than a little icon to tell you that the video's muted. They should actually black your screen too, say, wait a minute, something happened, I can't see anything, rather than everything just looking normal to you. And at this point, not only can't I see where my path through here is, I don't know where to put the camera, because the Bluetooth didn't work. I'm hoping I put it back in the bucket, and I don't see a lot of shade, and I got berries to pick here. Oh wait, here's some shade. I'm going to pick some of these berries while you hold on a second. I see some big juicy berries right in front of me. This time of the picking, when you get into July, some of them will just fall off when you bump the vine. Although if my best Bluetooth doesn't work anymore. I guess it doesn't matter if I lose it. And I'm not sure where I'm going to be picking in here. So I'm not really sure the best place to put the camera. I see a little bit right here. I got a shade tree right here. I think I'll hang it right here. It's dimmed down a little bit, but this cold pack works, hiker. If you need to do this. Nobody in chat right now, or I'm not on. I'm not, well, let's see. I can always go over and check. The Twitch says I'm live. Orientation still seems to be correct. I'm on the chat. Video and audio. Yeah, I'm checking these things now just because. I'm going to hang you up here in this walnut tree. I can tell it's a walnut tree. I can smell it. Smells pretty. Walnut trees smell pretty good to me. I don't know why. They just do. This is Dr. Livingston, I presume. I can call my berry fix that. You're just going to be looking at, I don't even know what I can point you at, but my picking area is kind of up the hill. And I just realized I can't take that side off because I actually am holding the cold pack. I'm going to try to roughly point you in my direction and talk. There's not much I can do at this point because my Bluetooth's no worky. There's berries around here to pick. This is my main area for today. I'm going to get some of this out of your way so you can actually see something. That's a berry vine. I'm not cutting it. And I'm here picking. I meant to set my bots up to say every 2 or 3 minutes when I'm picking that I could be away from camera, away from mic. I'm definitely away from the keyboard, but I haven't done that yet. Note to self for next time. Put a bot message I can turn on before I leave. That they'll just keep announcing it. Because right now, if you don't type in chat, they're not going to announce anything. So somebody new comes in and they don't see anything in chat, and I'm out of range, they're not going to know why they're looking at a tree. I'll be over there for a little bit. I'm back here. I'm close enough probably you can hear me. I got a pick back here behind the camera. I got some berries I noticed. See how many and what I can pick up. I like picking around this walnut tree because it smells good. And my stick isn't with my bucket. That's not good. Sometimes I like to lean my stick, but it falls into the weeds and then I can't see it. So it's better on the bucket. And the tree's going to bop around because I got to duck under it. I got to lift up a branch here. I'm going to go up in here and pick, hopefully. There wasn't a lot of picking left in this patch the 3 times I picked it. And the big patches I usually get 4 or 5 sometimes, although the last one won't be that great. I usually get pretty decent picking. Now I'm wondering what I'm looking at. Am I looking at my step down or the deer's? For my step down, I try to be careful when actually going over and only take out the non-berry. Oh no, this is deer laid down here. This isn't my effort. I can tell they're a little sleepy. They went to sleep on a piece of the berry patch, and I can't tell through the weeds that they matted down if there's anything to pick under here. Picking through deer beds is challenging. Let's say it that way. Picking through deer beds is challenging. And this is the part where I think I snuck up into the patch and they probably followed my trail. and then decided, hey, I'll just make a bed here. Nice thing is I can narrate when I'm close to the camera. I know you can hear me because I'm close by. If you stop by to check it out, you're looking at the nature cam while I pick berries nearby. But my Bluetooth is out. It decided not to work. The deer are giving me a challenging picking situation that they've come into my patches to make beds. And they step everything down. They just come over and kind of smash it too. So I have to work around that. And it's sort of uber challenging. It's like that added berry picking challenge. It's kind of slowing me down. And I got to yeet some dead rosebush out of my patch that I killed and taken over the patch, but it's still here. And let's pick through that too. I've got to be careful because now the berries will just fall off when you bump them. I've got to make sure I got hands on before I even put a motion on the bush. Bump into the bush, I got to have hands on. And there's quite a bit of rosebush to weed out. It's just going into the near clear area. Yeah, really get a number in here. Yeah, I was thinking up on top of the hill, I need to go in and clear out all the stuff they smashed down. I think I'm going to have to do the same thing here without interfering with the new patch pieces, so that I can actually somewhat get in next season. I mean, I can see the challenge. And I can see an occasional berry, and it's really hard to get to. It's protected by the dead rosebush claws. I think claw is the most appropriate term for the dead rosebush pieces. Dropped a nice one. Note to self, don't drop too many nice ones. You need this pick. There's a nice area on the other side I'm going to try. I think it'll be good. It's the one I had a lot of fun in with hiking. I might not take the camera around. I might just leave it in the tree where it's at. I left the glasses on for some reason. Area and fixing the berries. A blessing. Blessing from me. Indeed it is, so close. There's still a lot of berries to come right here. It's just I don't know how much it's going to be worth it to pick them all. I'll just have to come out and see. Oh, the berry fell off and I caught it. Yes. Uber good. That might be the one I dropped. That'd be nice. Maybe not, but that's a cool thought. Just hung out there and waited for me a little bit. The nice thing is when the old patch and the new patch are separated a little bit, you can bung through the old patch and not have to consider that you're bunging up the new stuff. You gotta get in over there. see. Deer making smashy here. I don't know if I can use it. Yeah. Sometimes where the deer smash it down, I can step through that. I don't know if I'm going to do that here. That'll just make it harder to pick. Dead roast wood. Try to pick as much as I can before I leave an area, because I'm probably not coming back. I know I probably won't be back in that area. And I gotta go up the hill now. You're not gonna hear me too good. Right now I'm still right behind the camera. But I gotta head up. Camera's got to hang there in the shade because I can't take it with me. It overheats. And unless I could come up with some kind of custom cooler that fits with the rig, because that's the thing I'm at right now, is this cooling system doesn't fit into my camera holding rig, and besides, it'd be out in the sun. Well, I can pick over here for a little bit. I got some stuff right in here. I got some stuff right in here I can pick. Yeah, it's a little warm out here. I'm a little on the toasty side, but the other patch that I'm going to, if this patch doesn't stand me until 2, it's got shade, but I don't know how many berries it has. Although what I'm thinking, if I got enough at 1:30, if I got about 5 containers by 1:30, is to actually stop at 1:30 and go see that other patch and see if it's worth picking in 2 days on Tuesday. That's my thought about it entirely. Because I got to have a chance to check out some of these further away patches, but while there's berries in my big store areas, I want to pick there. And if I wait too long to go out to these other patches, the animals are going to womp them, or they'll just rot on the vine. You only get so many. I figure you get about 6 days to pick a ripe berry, and then it's done. That's my estimate. That's my estimate of picking a ripe berry. Once it's ripe, once it turns that nice purple color, you're limited. Your time is limited. Always nice when I accidentally cut a berry vine to realize it's an old dead one. Yeah, the deer have definitely had their way with this area, and it just becomes so difficult to pick. And it doesn't look like there's anything either where they smashed it down, so they might have eaten it all and then smashed it down. And I'm not finding too much in these flattened berries. That's one of the things. I don't know how many berries they got before they turned it into this. And once it's smashed down, if there were berries to go ripe, they may not. They damage the vine too much and they might not ripen the rest of the berries. So the order of the day is just to grab everything I can here. Maybe go to another patch. Let's do 2 things. Let's do 3 things. 1, check the actual time. See where I'm at on my picking. Oh, leaf got in front of the camera. 12:22, so it's unlikely. Wow. I can't get this thing away from the camera. I can't get it to stay away. I can get it away. It keeps bouncing back. This grapevine might help. Well, these things I can cut out. Nope. Still no. Okay, there we go. You kind of got a clear view. 2, I'm going to put the glasses here with the camera because I don't need them to pick. Oh, I lost my chat interface somehow. Looks like I'm live and hey cats, still around, huh? Cool. It's a good deal. Well, I'm gonna continue around picking. Probably won't hear me. My Bluetooth didn't work. No mic to take with me. And thing three, I'm gonna have some water after I pick my glasses up and figure out how to hook them on here so they don't disappear. I'm gonna go get water. Then I'm gonna go up the hill and pick. I just realized if I put my bucket in the shade, my water will stay cold. Have some honey too. Oh man, that's the tea. Okay, up the hill. Around the corner and up the hill. This isn't how we get to Grandma's house. Still a lot of berries to pick here. Just at this point, getting a good yield has become a challenge. Yeah, the way this is flattened, I don't even see how humans could get through like this to do it. It has to be deer because something just went over top. I can't see through this stuff. Stuff flattened down I can't see through. Come out to the patch every other day. Deer have a good time without. Then they might do it at night too. It might not matter. I can come out here every other day. Or I can come out here every day and they still might come in at night. Do this. Show up, hiker. I'm out here somewhere. My Bluetooth isn't working, so no mic. I should have brought the cheaper Bluetooth mic that I don't like the sound of. I tested this other one last night and it worked last night. I put it on the charge a little bit and I grabbed it. It no work. So something's just not happy. That's my good sounding one. And even the crappy one will disconnect if I get far enough away. So if I'm close enough to shout over there, you can hear the Bluetooth better, but it's still shout range. think there's any point to repositioning the camera every 20 minutes as I move around. I'm just basically picking all the berries I can find left in this mess. I can pick up pieces, but it still doesn't show me much. So there's a possibility they ate them all as they went, because they can smell them. They don't necessarily have to see things, they can smell food. Possible they ate it all. I'm going up the hill out of range. I'll be back. Humans just run a machine. Before the new blanket, maybe even mid-July, that's totally dead stuff out. I'm even thinking about going here picking if I can't see anything, just to start cutting. Just use that much for a couple more days. Hot out here. Picking away in the heat. To get it done. Get her done. I'm getting it done. It looks like somebody jumped over and jumped over the sun. And my wall is incredible. they're both just flat. I can go in and get a little bit. On the way to the patch, I picked about a half container in the patch. I got a container and a half. And there's also a deal on yours that I can go. But they don't know what it is. So, it's going to be going on getting 3 or 4. And it's going to take double the time. It's going to take double the time. Because I'm going to have to go out for 4 hours to pick 4 containers. But the deer won't have anything to go in and go after. If I go out there and clear each patch every day, the deer won't have anything to go after. Because they're even going in and smashing some of the small ones. They're really just exuberant. Deer are really exuberant this year. They've smashed both of my high-yields to the point where I'm going in a couple of hours and I'm going to pick the 2 containers because there's nothing left. This is the upper end where I needed this stuff. Let's see what there is to pick here. I'm back up around the other side. I think I have about 2 containers here for my 2 hours. Let's see, I started out at 10:40, 11. 11 to 1. I'm not going to have much more than 2 containers. And from what I've seen, we can definitely head down and head the way towards the other patch. The deer have done a good job here of smashy. And there's not a lot left to pick. I basically picked everything I could in this patch. Nothing left hardly. Oh, I left a piece up the hill. I'm behind the camera spot and I realized I got to go back around the other way or loop around. I'll go back, I might have missed something. There's a spot I didn't hit up that I don't think they're going to claim. There's a lot of berries left, they're just not in convenient places. There's a lot of berries to come ripe. But my high yield patches are over, so it's come out and just do what I just did, is pick a couple containers and then go home. I don't think I'm going to get 3 more containers in the next hour unless this other patch surprises me. So it's going to be another 3 container day for my 4 hours of picking. And the rest of the picking days might be like that. So I actually just had this wild idea of camping out here at the biggest patch for a few days, like a week, while I pick like crazy. Pick berries, take them into the house, and come back out and just stay out here camping. Because I don't have any other way to keep the deer out. If I'm here, they probably wouldn't come in. But other than that, when I'm not here, it belongs to them. I was just going through the logic in my mind of, is there anything I can do? Ah, it's peaceful. The D&D, the role-playing game, goes on. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm going to try this. I'm going to put this into the rig like this and see if it holds it with the cooler pack on it. Because I'm just moving this to my new area. I got to go pick down here before I head off to the new patch. I got to have the cooler pack on the phone at this point. It's reached a nice peak heat of probably about 88, 87. I know that I underestimate, but there's no cool breeze today. So if the deer are going to start smushing my high yield patches early, I'm only going to have a couple of times to come out here and actually pick 6 to 8 containers. And I might next year, I might go for 6-hour hikes and just pick as many as I can. Attempt to pick the area clean. The next time I come out, instead of picking just 8, I'm going to try to pick 12. Because I came to this patch 2 pickings in a row. I came here day 4 and 5, I think, and day 6 I went on top of the hill. And I think the next time I'm going to come out and just stay out here as long as I can, early, before they start smashing it down. Because once they start smashing it, that's kind of it. I'm kind of stuck with whatever they leave me with. And, they got the high yield areas, so my thought is get as much out of these areas before they come in smashy. Because whatever I leave is what they're going to come in for. Camera went down. Let's see what happened. Well, one reason it went down is because the bucket's got the power cord. Wow. Bucket really got the power cord. I still right side up? Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, no, not right side up. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know whatchamacallit does to reorient. Stream Elements app. I know that the Twitch I don't think reorients. And I can tell that the cooler bag is already losing its cooler. So as stated, we might suddenly lose transmission. The phone's charging, so that's a good sign. Let's see if we can gig down to where I'm actually at. Hanging the phone in the tree, well, 50-50-90. One of the easiest ways to reorient it is with the power wire. I pull it around and it kind of holds it. Okay, rest of the picking. I'm picking what I can get that the deer left me. That's where we're at. Usually, when the berry bushes weren't as prosperous, it was me coming out and grabbing everything I could and leaving them a little bit. But with the increase in the prosperity of the berries, they're coming in to get all the stuff I can't pick. So that has the effect that they make the rest of the stuff that's left unpickable. They do make it easier to get into some areas that I couldn't get into. but I'm not sure I like the trade-off. I think 2018 might have been my highest yield year. I think I picked almost 80 containers. 2017 I picked 70 some. Last year I only got about 50. This year I'm not sure I'm going to hit 40 because I'm looking at maybe 26 if I get a few more containers. If I get 2 more containers today, I might be looking at 26. That's not a lot. So we'll go pick what we can. I'll be down here a bit. Probably won't be here to hear me. Well, I'll be over in here picking. I see the camera turned back already from the way I actually had it pointed down the hill. And it's probably going to do that. It wants to. It's hanging where the weight of the cooler bag's putting it. Nature cam. I should label it berry picking nature cam and put a bot up that I can turn on with a command that makes an announcement every 2 minutes about my status. I'll be over here. Picky bear. down here somewhere. Picky picky. I'm over here somewhere if you're still alive. The camera's still alive. The heat's pretty intense. It's peaking up. I'm glad I've built up a little resistance to it, because the thoughts attempt to trickle through the brain to call it a day. And now I gotta come over there and get the camera. And I'm over here picking. I gotta go back around anyways. There's a couple more down in here to get. And I'm probably gonna go out down the hill anyways, because the other patch is that way. Say a prayer for the ambulance people to respond to whatever. Oh, good bunch over here in the shade. I need to cool off a little bit anyways. I'm kind of overheated. The camera would be better in this part of the shade. It's actually cooler over here by a good bit. This is where I'm having to pick, out on the edges. Oh, the breeze is wonderful. If I knew where to get one, I'd go get a Coke Slurpee. For sure. Sorry, Officer Cop. Pepsi doesn't make a Slurpee, I don't think. Maybe they do. I've never found one. It's a conspiracy, man. It's a conspiracy. Oh, it's a Coke Slurpee. This has been picked out. I'm getting into areas now that I started picking earlier, and they're picked out. There's hardly anything in here, in this area. Oh, the cool breeze is like cold water. I'm so sweaty, it's just cooling me right down. Let me get back around there and we'll see what the deal is. If you're still operating, if you can hear me. Not if you can hear me. I can't see it now though, I'll see it when I get home. I got some more over here in the shade. I'm going to go up around the corner. I picked some last time. A lot of the bushes get picked out. And my two high-yield patches where I go and get 6 inches, and there's a deer. Here's like probably through the So I went up and around and picked some up the hill. I need to get over there, my throat's clogged. Picking everything I can find. That's what I usually do anyways, but this is especially especially desperate for the deer having killed my high yield passes off. Well, I'm almost back around. I grabbed every last berry I could. It's only about another 3/4 of a small container. I'm going to dump them out here just to get them contained. And I'm looking carefully everywhere I can. I got a couple of good yields on the periphery of the patch, the external areas that usually don't give me a lot because the deer haven't been there. So I had some to pick that were pretty nice. I could almost come straight across, but I'll go around. I don't know if I want to step this stuff. Well, let's see. The deer do it. See, it's hard for a human to get through. You can't lift your leg up high enough. I found some more berries on the way. There's a lot of little loops of stuff here. I might as well look for berries while I'm in here. Get every last one I can. This part right here was blackberries. Okay, I'm back. Are we alive? We're alive. Who showed up? Hey, Psychotic. Yeah, thanks for the nod, man. Yeah, blessings for whoever had to have the siren response. Hopefully they'll be all right. Well, let's see what we got. 122. I'm going to take this little bit of shade. Oh, and somebody left their water bottle out in the sun. Let's see. It's better than no water. Ah. Oh, that's so good. Needed that. Let's dump berries out here while we're cooling off. Oh, my honey's hot. Good though. Might as well finish these. Well, I kept the camera alive in the heat. That's a pretty good effort. Let's see what was going on while I was off picking. Let's do an accounting. I think I can actually get down in this shade.
A little bit. Well, I didn't eat any. And I got 2.25 containers. If I'm considering my next move here. Sweat in my eyes and stingy. You figure all the time out here and the sweat in my eyes just started to sting. I guess I've been sweating for a while, but I think it was the water. Okay. I think the state of this patch is pretty much about the same as the one up the hill, and that I'm not going to get a lot more out of it. I got 2 more patches I haven't picked, but I have the feeling they might be quite nearly the same. I'm going to have to take a look though. I think Tuesday I'll go out to one of those 2. I see a berry I missed. How that happened. Decide what I'm going to do with the camera here. There's a berry hiding under a leaf I just saw from underneath. Actually, it's not that much of a hide. It's right here. 2 of them. I'm eating those. 2.25 containers. That's not enough for Mom to make pies. Let's gig this and see what we got. What I'd really like to do is put this bucket down in this container down in the bucket. That would be kind of nice. And I wouldn't have an extra thing to carry. Okay, because to keep the cooler pack on it, I'm going to have to carry the phone, and I got my stick down here. I'm just looking around like, oh, where's my stick? Wow. Still charging, I think. Oh, no, we're not charging anymore. So the phone's hit its overheat with the cooler pack. I don't know how much I got left. At some point, it'll actually, without telling me, it'll kick down stream elements. It'll just be like, we've shut down stream elements. It's like, thanks. Thanks a lot. Okay. So let's Tweaky. Turn around, we're going on the hike. Guessing I'm still alive. All right, let's go get out and see what either back or that other patch. I'm going back the way I came, I think. What was I going to do? Go down the hill this way. Oh, my stick is hot to the touch. Okay, it might be kind of warm out here. My stick feels hot. At least the bugs haven't bugged me too much. I'm hoping to get the phone into the shade before it... The shade over here is pretty cool. I'm hoping to get the phone over here somewhat and let it cool off before it kills my stream elements. I don't think there's any berries over here to pick. Oh, there's a couple. I'll eat those. A little bit. We'll be over into the cool shade. And we're over here. It's a little bit better. Where the breeze comes up, it's nice. But then I'm so sweaty, it's like just putting a fan on a wet thing. All right. You like that nod command. I like that too. It's easier for me to see the bot's response. Oh, there's actually berries here to pick. A couple of years ago, there was a lot of berries in here. Now there's just this little bit, but they're big juicy berries. So I'm gonna make sure I pick these. I don't think the cooler pack was doing too much for the phone at the end there anyways, because it's pretty much hit room temperature. I say room temperature. It's not quite outside temperature, but up above 75 for sure. These are pretty nice. I'll pick these, put them in there. Let's see, did I save the small container? No, I got one of the bigger containers. See, you got to pick directly into a container. You don't want the full container. Because, especially when you have fumble hands like me, that sometimes drop things unbidden. My phone's complaining about something. I don't know what it is. It might drop stream elements at any moment. So if stream drops out, thanks for lurking. Thanks for listening, watching. Thanks for coming along for today's berry pick. I'll be on in the afternoon like normal. Might not be doing the stand-up workstation. I might be sitting down. See how I recover once I get back to the cold air. Mom finally put the AC on yesterday. It got to be too much for her. So it'll be nice and cool when I'm in the studio. This breeze just feels amazing. Just being as hot as I was, being here in the shade. And I don't know, stream elements looks like it's still, I took my glasses off, it looks like it's still running.